Hello and welcome back to my video series for the Apple version of 2400 AD by Chuck Boucher. I've completed the walkthrough, but now there are some loose ends to tie up. Probably the biggest one is the Boost Labs. They're in an underground maze, and they aren't really worth it to solve the game efficiently, but they are fun to try and find. So in this video I'm going to talk to people who can help me find them, and then I will do so before showing a more efficient way to boost energy. You can see my inventory here. I have 3 plastiforms, and having space for plastiforms makes things go a bit quicker. You may need about 1,000 or so credits as well to buy more plastiforms. It depends on what your energy is. And also I am using the final saved disk from my main video walkthrough, though you may notice I changed the character name. This was just a bit of hex editing at address 220B1 for the Apple. I had to do a hex search of ASCII values plus 80 hex. I couldn't just do a text string search or whatever. Also, I'm going to be rebooting here a bit, since backtracking takes time and doesn't really show us anything new, and there will be some repetition in here before I say, okay, I think you get the idea. So there are 2 conversation chains now that lead us to the Boost Labs. The first one is in the north. So we are at transporter 24. Let's go to 04. And the 2 people here are very nearby. This is Megatech Building B, and this is Mickey. I push W to stop running, not R. Ask about his mood, about Boost. And Mickey doesn't know where Floyd is, but Floyd's real close. And we can see that Floyd doesn't tell you he knows about boosts. You can still ask him specifically, and okay, west end of the underground. So that's conversation trail number 1. Number 2 is in the hospital on level 3. So now level 3 we want to go to area 0 in the center. And a minor inconvenience there. Level 2, level 3, and now there are 2 people who tell you about Sharon. There is Kelly and there is Joyce. This is Kelly. Okay, she doesn't tell you where Sharon is. Joyce will not either, but there aren't that many rooms and none of them are locked. Joyce is here looking at her watch. And there's a small bug here. Joyce doesn't know about Sharon, but she does know about Junie. So maybe names were changed or something. And either way, it's not bad to find Sharon, who's sitting watching her TV. Yeah, the big thing on the tracks. That's a bit snarky, but if I were hit by a train, you know what, I'd be a bit snarky too. So ask her about the boost. Pat, underground, west end of town. You know, he doesn't tell you his name, so that's good to know. Maybe that's where Geo is. Maybe Geo is the IQ boost guy, or maybe he's the guy that's on the walkway between Hugo's and Brem's. Small little mystery. Not really important, but fun to think about. So, armed with this information, we now know that we need to go to area 3 in the west. At least to get to the boost quickly we do. And we will climb up behind the bookshelf, which I find really cool. I'm sure it's been done as a plot point in movies or novels or whatever, but being able to do it yourself is a new little twist. And also not having to work very hard to do it. Okay, this is Fritz. I think we saw him, but he says take the doors in the corner. on the way in. Be careful on the way out. The doors will close if you pay for a boost. They won't all close if you don't have the money or whatever. We've seen Jimmy before, but some of them near the start will, because the game generally keeps a snapshot of the 32 by 16 area you're in, and once you move out, it resets things to their old values. Verne over there, we talked to him. He sells plastiform. That's going to be big once we figure out what to do to boost more efficiently than the actual boosts. I'm also going to divide this into two parts and use save states to bounce back to this corridor here. This isn't just to save time, but it's also to save credits. I will not have the money for both kinds of boosts, but I will have it for either one. So we talked to this guy, 1,000, 1,000, is it okay? Now we don't, the IQ is at 69. It will jump to 75 or 76 because, sorry, 76 or 77, because the formula is you take 99 IQ and then subtract your current IQ, which is 69, and we cannot see the low byte that says, you know, X out of 256, so we wouldn't know for sure without previous knowledge whether it would be 76 or 77. Now we would have 23 over 4, which is 5.75, but it's going to round up because we know we have to have at least 1/2 or 1/28 in the low byte. So let's get another IQ boost and just verify what's going on here. The implication here is when you get very close to the maximum 99, you get less of a boost. So other ways become much more efficient. That's going to be particularly true for what we're going to do. There we go, 82 IQ. And now we go get energy. We use the other corner door. I know that when I got Fritz's advice, I said, okay, well, there are two boosts. Is there like a branch somewhere? And yes, indeed, there was. So here is the energy boost. You want to try it? Yes. Again, this is a bit more expensive, 1,500 and 2,000. Makes sense from a vendor's perspective, since energy is tougher to improve than IQ. And we are just going to go back to the branch point, just showing that, okay, yeah, we can recover the energy, and also to show you the doors did close because, well, 1,000 ticks went by and they're probably not going to be left open. And why not just exit? The maze itself is not terribly big. It is a 6 by 6 square on the left and a 7 by 3 rectangle on the right. So that is not particularly something to worry about if you get lost, even if you don't have a map. And I have created one for GameFAQs, and I had to crib on it the first few times, but after going through the boost labs, I kind of remembered, okay, yeah, this is where IQ is, this is energy. So now we go to the most efficient way to improve your energy. It's kind of funny that there are the boost labs and then there's a more efficient way right by the ladder. And that ties into what I had in the inventory, the plastiform. And the thing is, you want to get in a rhythm here, but often when I do, I forget to look at how much energy I have, which is kind of bad. I should probably save states here, and then use the plastiform. Okay, so our energy is around 71 now. And we have to be a bit aware here, because the first time we had full energy, plastiform only gives us half energy. And it's slightly more efficient to run if you have the credits, but if not, oops, I forgot to do that. I forgot to get rid of all my plastiform. It's also slightly more efficient to get rid of all your plastiform before visiting Verne. And I'm not going to do too much of this, other than to note that you improve pretty decently, but it does require a bit of patience. You notice that the energy is at 77 now. And we can tell where the maximum energy is because plastiform always heals half of your remaining energy. Oh wait, we are at 77 now. It must have been at 75. That makes more sense. We're going to use our remaining energy here, and then I'm going to discuss a few numbers, and that'll be the end of the video, because yeah, it's not going to be worth watching me climbing up and down. But okay, we definitely do not want to run when our energy is at 1. And we go to buy the plastiform. And now I'd like to discuss the mechanics, what's going on here. Each plastiform will give you, hit points divided by 2, or rather energy divided by 2 energy boost. That allows you, if you multiply by 4/3, 2/3 of your energy to going up and down the stairs. And since you go, you get a point every 25 times you go up and down the stairs. That goes to about 4/75 of your energy if you use it all. That is if your hit points are at the max. If they are not, then you get about 0.1025, and that's, or rather 1.025 multiplier to your energy. So in other words, you take the log of 99 divided by the log of your current energy, minus the log of your current energy, divide that by the log of 1.025, and you get how many plastiform uses it'll take. You can subtract 2 if you started out with max hit points. This may seem like a confusing formula, and it's not one I can do in my head, so if you want to be cheap about it, what you can do is average your current maximum energy in 99. Let's say it was at 67, so that would put it at 83. You would have 16 to go, and since we can get 0.025 times your energy, we can say, okay, 83 divided by 40 is just over 2, so we would need 8 plastiforms. Actually, we need 16. So it's doable, but it will take a while. Plastiform costs 50 per unit, so we would need about 800 if we were at 66, or rather 67. So it's not cheap, and it will take a while, but we can do it, and it's certainly worthwhile to wait for the boost labs if we really want to get to 99, because as we go through the game, we'll be increasing energy as we shoot at monsters, and also the plastiform is easier to buy here, and we have nothing else to do with the credits. So that's a way to get to 99 energy if you really want to. So thanks so much for getting to the end of this video. See you next video, I guess. I still have some more plans.